Yo guys, what's good? It's MoskitoSounds, welcome back to my channel. If you got a minute from me, please listen to this beat and tell me which artist comes to mind. Who could rap on this?
Ruined by mosquitoes.
Alright, I hope you like the beat. Welcome back to another episode of TMTB, Tell Me the Type Beat. Before we get into the project file, please hit the comments right now and tell me who you could imagine using this beat. Alright, here we are. This is my Reaper project file for today's beat. I used a melody loop for this beat, which you can hear in the intro. It's this one. I found this on Splice and I just love this synth sound right here. It sounds really great and it's actually playing the 4 magic chords. Let me show you. Okay, let's see if I can play along. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on the mic, but I guess. Okay, so we've got the chords G minor, E flat major, what's this, B flat major, and F major. And these are the 4 magic chords. This is like every pop song in the world, or at least half of them, at least. I'm sure you've seen one of these videos where people play these chords and they show you how you can sing the melody to countless top 10 hits over it. The chord progression is 6-4-1-5. Like in C major or A minor, it would be A minor, F major, C major, G major. The most used chord progression in pop music, I guess. And I didn't realize that right away when I picked this loop. If I had realized it, I maybe wouldn't have used it because I would be thinking like, oh, that's too cheesy and whatever, but fuck that. Here we are. Okay, so here's what I did to the loop. I put on some EQ and some transient shaper, and if I disable these effects, you can hear why. Without any effects, this sounds pretty massive and it would probably overwhelm like all the other elements in the beat. So I had to take it down a notch, tame it a little bit. So I put on EQ, cut out low end to make room for my bass, and cut out almost 12 dB at 2K right here. And this is an area where the human ear is really sensitive, so it can get harsh really quick, and I cut out a ton of that. And then I added some transient shaper because I thought the attack was a little harsh as well. So you can see I put the punch at -7 here. And after these effects, the loop sounds like this. Actually sounds worse on its own, but it will fit the mix way better. I added one melody to this. Looks like this in the MIDI editor. This is a preset in Analog Lab, which is called Shadows. I didn't do much to it, just cut out some low end, basic low cut. And then to make it stereo, I duplicated the track. As you can see, this is an audio item right here. I duplicated the track, rendered it out, and added a little delay to it. If I disable the delay and play the pattern, it kind of sounds like it's coming from the center. I mean, there's a certain width to it, but I can make it wider. If I turn on the delay, it becomes much wider and gets out of the way of the synth. And that's what I wanted. Okay, on to the 808. The bass line looks like this. Follows the chord progression, the most obvious thing you could do here, and this is the sound. The 808 is simply called number 9. I must have gotten this in some Reddit drum kit, I guess. Without any effects, the 808 sounds like this. So you can hear it has quite a bit of attack. There's a little kick transient going on there. So I decided not to use a kick in this beat at all. And to make it knock a little harder, I added some compression, slow attack, 60 milliseconds, ratio 4, and I'm getting about 3 dB of gain reduction. I normally wouldn't do this if there was a kick. This would just get in the way because it emphasizes the transient of the 808, but since I decided not to use a kick in this beat at all, this just makes it knock even harder. And then I put on some EQ, boosted a tiny bit of low mids, and cut some low end to leave a bit more headroom in the beat. The rest of the drums are pretty standard. 808 and all the drums together sound like this. Really nothing special here. I added some Camel Crusher to the snare. Let's hear that in solo. Snare without the distortion sounds like this. I just wanted it to cut through a little more, so I used Camel Crusher, the Annihilate preset, which is a very aggressive preset, but as you can see, I pulled down the mix knob to almost 0. And then it sounds like this. Very subtle, but it helps cut through the mix a little bit. And then I added a bit of low mids in this EQ. Then I've got a hi-hat right here that is playing a simple 2-step pattern. Let me turn these off. The most basic thing you can do with hi-hats. But I added Soundtoys effect rack to it, and it has this preset called Stereo Shimmer. And this is doing the panning that you can hear. And all I did was turn down the depth in this tremolator a little bit, because if you put it on max right here, you see it will pan all the way hard left and hard right. I didn't want that, so I brought it down to about here. I think that's where it was. And the panning just doesn't go as wide. And the last plugin I added to the hi-hats was Soothe, which is a dynamic EQ that is designed to reduce harshness, and you can probably hear it without it. Yeah, it's subtle, but it does tame the hi-hat a little bit. So other than that, there's not much going on here, so I guess that's it for today. Please get in the comment section if you haven't already, and let me know who you think could use this beat. What type beat is this? And I'll see you next week.